Good day everyone, this is Alvin again from the Philippines and welcome to my overall review of Miss Supranational 2023. Welcome! So, a week later, after Andrea Aguilera from Ecuador was crowned as Miss Supranational 2023, today we will be reviewing the entire show of Miss Supranational 2023, the results, what happened after every round, based on my observation and what I think. The reason why I delayed my review is because I was waiting for the overall ranking, which is always being released by Miss Supranational organization after the pageant, and thankfully they were able to release it today, so we knew who made it in the final top 30. I have it right here, the picture of all the ladies ranked from first, of course, from Ecuador up to the lady who made it in the 30th spot. But before we go there, let's go ahead and start our review, starting with the presenters of the competition, and they were Joanne Strauss and Martin Fitch. I really love this duo very much, and I would really love to see them back again in the future edition. Joanne got one of the most soothing voice that we've heard in pageantry for someone hosting the pageant, and to be honest, of all female hosts that I've seen and I've heard watching pageantry, she's got one of the best voice that I've heard. I loved it very much. Her voice is just able to adapt to whatever round of the competition is. Also, the male host, Martin, I really loved him because he do have a contrast personality with Joanne, and being humorous, super energetic, and I think they perfectly complemented each other's energy. So I really love both of them. So hopefully the organization will consider signing a contract for at least 5 years for both. I love them. Next we have the staging. For the staging, it was perfect. It is already expected because Miss Supranational has always been one of the best in terms of staging and production. Also, they've been producing the largest musical show in the continent, the entire European region, the Eurovision Song Contest. And for those who are familiar of the event, we know how extravagant the staging is, and almost every country is producing this amazing contest every year with incredible staging. So most likely the pageant has been influenced by that as well. I love how they have extended some LED screens, not only on stage but also on the edges, to make sure that the effects really lived up to what they're trying to they wanted to change it to a Miss Supranational experience rather than a pageant, and I loved it because even as a viewer, having that staging really allows you to fully experience whatever it is that they're using to design the stage. So I really appreciate that and I loved it, and hopefully other pageants could be inspired by that staging as well. Now let's go to the very intriguing, I know there's a lot of talks after the competition, a lot of good news and also a lot of heartaches, which is very normal in a beauty pageant. So for the top 24 announcement, let's begin with the contestants' choice, which was Curaçao, Andreina Pereira. I think this is a perfect way of recognizing a woman who is adored by their fellow candidates, and giving them a spot in the top 24 is wonderful. And I immediately messaged Andre telling him that, wow, this top 24, adding another spot for a contestant's choice is just perfect. And who knows the contestants better than their fellow contestants themselves. So congratulations to Curaçao being the first candidate voted by her fellow candidates. I hope they continue this in the future editions too. Now, after the top 24 announcement, was there a surprise placement for you? Because if you ask me, I don't think that there is a surprise placement in the top 24. I got 19/24 in my prediction, and I'm super hyped, super happy. And the 5 ladies I wasn't able to predict were very close in my list, and I also can definitely see the reason why they didn't make it, and also see the reason why those who were not in my list making it in the top 24. So it is very safe to say that majority of the ladies that were expected to place did place. However, for the surprise non-placements, we have a lot. First we have the Czech Republic. I mean, I was speechless. She was in everybody's list. I loved her a lot, and she's my number 10 in my list. This, to me, was extremely shocking. She's probably the 𝐒𝐒𝐒 of this batch, because I saw a lot of predictions who have her in the top 5, in their top 5, and even have her as their predicted winner. So it's really shocking not to see her in at least top 24. Canada, she's number 15 on my list. Not that high, but to me, she's an incredible speaker, consistent performer, and has even done well at Super Chat and other sub competitions. Another non-placement that I did not see coming. USA, she's number 17 on my list, and although her performance at the preliminaries were quite underwhelming, I felt like non-placement was quite brutal. But then again, let us remember that there are other factors that we don't see, and most probably those factors play a huge part why these ladies did not make it. Again, Miss Supranational is all about the candidates, not only on the preliminaries, not only on the finals, but also their behavior, their attitude towards one another, and the people in the organization days before the finals. So those affects as well. But who knows? Our questions, will never be answered. We can only make assumptions. And based on the released result of the Miss Supranational organization that we have here, we have Cuba at number 25. Very, very close. I love Cuba, and I'm so sad that she did not make it in. Canada at number 26, very close as well. Iceland at number 27. If I only have a top 30, Iceland is also in my number 30. I loved her very much. Loved her story. Nicaragua at number 28, expected. She's a good speaker. 29, Romania, one of my sentimental favorites. And Togo at number 30. She was also in my list. Again, after the result was released, Czech Republic, USA out of the top 30. Shocking. We have a lot of questions, but obviously the questions will never be answered. But anyway, we're very happy with the result still. Now, let's proceed to the top 24 swimwear competition. The swimwear competition was great. I love the choice of swimwear, and I think the cape was heavily influenced by Miss Universe, which is okay to me, as what I've always said before. I'm not really into people, especially pageant fans, arguing why this copied this. I think if it's great, if it's doing well, then it's okay to be inspired by whatever tradition or things that are being implemented on a certain pageant. So having the cape is very okay to me. I also love the color because it really pops out. I love that. And after watching the swimsuit performances of the top 24, my top 3 best performers were Ecuador, Zimbabwe, and Thailand. Which is why when the top 12 was announced, there was really no major surprise in there as well, because I felt like the top 12, all of the top 12 finalists has performed really well during the swimsuits. It's just a matter of preference. But I was just shocked that Zimbabwe and Thailand did not made it in, and just super surprised. But let us always remember that swimsuit competition is subjective, and this is the reason why I am surprised with some of the exclusion, but I rarely question the result, simply because swimsuit is a perfect example of a competition where judgment is very subjective, and what's good for me, for us pageant fans, may not be good for the judges, and what's bad for us may be good for the judges. So sometimes we really don't meet each other halfway and we tend to question the result, but at the end of the day, the voice of the judges matters the most. So for the top 12, I really love them. I have some heartbreaks, but as what I've said earlier, I think the top 12 really performed and fought so hard for their spots. And based on the result again that were released by the organization, we have Zimbabwe at number 13. Very, very close, almost there to the top 12. Curaçao at number 14. South Africa fighting for a back-to-back. She's at number 16. Thailand is only at number 17, which is a bit low if you ask me. Also, some of the favorites that are on the list: Venezuela at top 22. Host country girl, Poland at number 23. And I could not believe that Malaysia is at 24th. I felt like it's really too low. Anyway, let's move on. Let's proceed to the to the 20-second speech. I'm sorry. I love this round because we get to see and hear the ladies deliver a quick speech, and that 20-second speech is going to change everything. But the biggest thing that really gave me a heart attack during the event was the 20-second gong. I mean, that was epic. That was scary. It makes me nervous because I really feel the intensity of the moment. And even as a viewer, I can really feel how intense that round was. I mean, let's bring it back next year because I really love that adrenaline in me as a viewer as well. I was okay with taking the microphone as well after 20 seconds, but just for a suggestion, it would be better if they'll just turn off the microphone, because I understand some of the commentaries that sometimes they remove the microphone too early, sometimes others were given a longer extension, so I would rather have the microphone turned off at exact time so that it will be fair for all the ladies who are delivering the 20-second speech. For the best speeches, Mexico, incredible. I love her speech and I find it very empowering and positive. India, her start was very strong, very powerful. Love the eye contact as she speaks. I love the confidence and firmness in her voice, but I felt like we didn't get to the real meat of her message because it was cut off, which I think was quite unfortunate. Dominican Republic, I am just so proud of this woman. Her speech was strong and she gave a worthy fight for the title. United Kingdom, I admire her courage for sharing her experience with the world and using it to help others. Incredible moment for her. But to me, the best top 20-second speech goes to the Philippines. The gong have cut off her speech, but the good thing about it is that it was almost to the end already, and we have heard majority of her points, and to me, it was close to perfection. Strong and powerful speech and delivery as well. For the evening gown round, because there were two bases for the top 12, the 20-second speech and the evening gown round, my best looks for this round goes to the following. I have India, that was very clean and solid look. The color was the best for her and it worked perfectly with her skin complexion. So to me, it was an incredible choice. Mexico, she looked stunning. Love the color white on her and love the addition of jewelry on her neck. Vietnam, I love the combination of red and gold. It is very reflective of their flag's color, and the gown details were incredible as always. So Vietnam definitely delivered and one of the best looks at this round. Ecuador, I am glad that she didn't change her preliminary gown because it was amazing. But to me, the best look in the evening gown round goes to the Philippines again. I think it is one of the best gowns that we've seen at Miss Supranational stage, and I really hope that I haven't searched who designed the gown, but I really hope that they will continue this. This is the kind of gown that I wanted to see from a representative from the Philippines. Once she came out with this gown, you can really say that that is a winning look. That is a winning gown, and I love that. So Philippines, for the top 12, I believe that the best performer is the Philippines. And the top 5 were announced, and they were Brazil, Philippines, UK, Ecuador, and Vietnam. And although it is heartbreaking to see some of my favorites not making the top 5, like Peru, Dominican Republic, and India. I think the top 5 has also done their best to make it this far. And based again on the release result of the organization, Peru, my predicted winner, at number 6, which is very, very, very close. India at number 7, Mexico, whom I love in both rounds, number 8, Puerto Rico number 9, Dominican Republic at number 10, Gibraltar and Netherlands closing the top 12. Now, let me just say this. I think at this point, when the top 5 was announced, Philippines and UK gave the best speech in the top 12. Brazil also delivered during the top 20 speech an evening gown. Ecuador has performed really well and was stunning in her gown. Vietnam also one of the best looks of the night. So to me, those are my arguments why those ladies made it in the top 5. And let me just point this out as well, because I have also seen many people in social media making fun of Vietnam's answer in the top 12, which is not good according to them. We have to understand that Vietnam is not a native English speaker, but the girl tried her best to speak in English. Well done to those countries like the Philippines, who is also not a native English speaker but is a fluent speaker. But Vietnam cannot speak fluently in English, but she did her best, and I think that's really commendable. Also, her Supra chat, where she spoke in her native language, her answers were very good and has some very good points. So I think the judgment here goes beyond the 20-second speech. That's why to me, it's really difficult to just focus on their answer for 20 seconds, because you cannot say that that woman is amazing just because of a 20-second speech. This is the reason why judgment goes beyond, after, and before the 20-second speech. The judges already knows their quality and how they speak. The judges already know their sincerity and how they deliver their speeches prior to answering that 20-second speech. So to me, the judges have seen more, have heard more than the 20 seconds that we saw as viewers. This is why, as what I've said, let me just repeat, I rarely argue with the result, even if the result is far from what I expected or predicted, because you have been complaining that your favorite didn't made it, or your favorite did well in the 20-second speech, without realizing that your basis is only 20 seconds. They have the same judges and the same people that are observing these candidates from day one. So their performance that night matters, but so is their entire performance from day one. So I really hope that whatever you feel, I just don't like it that the hatred goes to these women, because we don't know how much sacrifices they've made to go very far in the competition, and they're not begging for replacement. They've also performed their best to get there. So let's just be happy with the result and support whoever makes it in the next rounds of the competition. Now let's go to the top 5 final question. Let me emphasize that before the ladies started answering, the host clearly gave a disclaimer that this is not about giving the best answer. This is about being the most authentic. United Kingdom. She talked about her being relatable, and I think it is a powerful message, especially with how she shared her experiences being abused and used that experience to lift other women up. Philippines. She talked about dedication and connecting it with her experiences that brought her to that moment. On a technical basis, let me repeat, on a technical basis, that was the best answer of the night. Well delivered, clearly stated answer, and definitely very, very impactful. It's one of the best answers that I've heard, not only in this edition, but one of the best answers that we've heard in the history of Miss Supranational competition. Brazil. Her answer was very good as well, and I think the last half of her answer was much stronger than the first half. Ecuador. I've posted on my Instagram that she gave the most authentic answer of the night. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I've been giving updates up to every round, my commentaries, my thoughts, and authenticity is a feeling. And I felt like she gave the most authentic one that night. You know, in the final question, you always have the aim to give the best answer. But what I love about Ecuador is that she just wanted to share what she felt, and I think that's what matters. Also, people on social media has been laughing at her answer because they focused only on the line that her winning answer is she wanted to travel. And as someone who have also watched the pageant, I was like, are you listening to her answer, or did you just pick a certain part of her answer to satisfy your anger and probably hatred towards the winner? I mean, she said working with Miss Supranational organization would be the greatest honor of her life. She would travel the world and carry its legacy. But you only pick the one that would make her funny and undeserving for you, which I think is not right. I would really love to start my own foundation to help single moms to find employment. And this is very relatable and very honest, and I love how she remained true to herself, because she have mentioned many times that she was raised by a single mother. She also mentioned about her experience studying medicine, getting funds from her own pockets, and then becoming a doctor. And if you have listened at the beginning of the pageant as well, they have mentioned that she was the top of her class. And excuse me, I don't really get people calling her stupid because of her answer. I mean, what's your basis? I mean, she was the top of her class. And let us always put it this way: fluency in speaking English doesn't make you smart. Again, let me repeat, Ecuador is not a native English speaker, but she has improved herself. And when she speaks in her native language, I'm pretty sure that she can deliver very, very well. And she's also top of her class. So I think that's amazing. How many of us here are on top of our class? Not everyone, but Ecuador is. To me, as a pageant fan and as a pageant viewer, it was the genuine feeling, the feeling of excitement in her voice and in her eyes that gives me the feeling of authenticity. Again, let me just repeat, authenticity is a feeling, and you cannot question how other people feel. If you don't feel that her answer is not authentic, I'm not questioning that. That's how you perceived it. But to me, I felt she was very authentic on that round, and that's how I felt. Vietnam, she was very nervous, but she's fine. I still admire her courage for speaking in English when she has the opportunity or option to get a translator. For that, I commend her. And for the official result, fourth runner-up, Vietnam, no question. Third runner-up, United Kingdom, no question as well. Second runner-up, Brazil. And to me, seeing Philippines and Ecuador in the final two was truly satisfying, because Philippines, Pauline Amelinx, has been runner-up many times, especially in the national pageants, while Ecuador, Andrea Aguilera, was also a runner-up at Miss Grand International. So to me, as a pageant fan who wanted to see these ladies getting a crown finally, to me it was a great moment, because finally one of them is getting a crown. Of course, it will be heartbreaking for the other candidate, because we are only getting one title and one winner's crown. But the fact that one of them is finally getting a crown is just very, very sweet. So when Philippines was announced as the first runner-up, it was quite emotional to see, because she fought proudly and represented the country extremely well, and many people are rooting for her to get that crown. I understand the reaction of people who wanted her to win, because she definitely delivered a winning performance, no question about that. As for Ecuador, she also fought very well and fought for that crown deservingly. She is a very sweet woman, and I'm sure that she will be representing the organization very, very well. As for my fellow pageant fans, there's a part of the world that was celebrating during that night after the victory of Ecuador, and they deserve that celebration. But there's also some parts that were heartbroken because we wanted our favorites to do well, but this is a competition where only one wins. Some may not like the result, but it is not a valid reason to throw hatred and negativity towards Andrea, especially that we do not know her sacrifices and hard work, especially with the other candidates as well, that made her get to that moment. And if you don't want to support her, that's fine. That's your choice. Just don't spread your negativities and toxic behavior everywhere. Because for us, pageant fans, we will be supporting the winner. Again, we may not like the winner, but at the end of the day, we are here supporting them. And for us who are very happy for her victory, I just wanted to say that let us support her reign and wish her the best. It is Ecuador's time, it is Andrea's time, and all we can do is give her all the love and support, because I can assure you that once it is your country's time to win, the world will also reciprocate the same love and support back to your candidate. So that's it. This is my review of Miss Supranational 2023. So for commentaries, don't forget to leave your comments below. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and share the video as well. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe, because you'll be seeing more of these videos in the future. For now, thank you very much and have a wonderful day from the Philippines.